So, Alice, have you seen that new Hulu film everyone's talking about?
I haven't, Bob. I prefer to read books in my free time.
Ah, the old-fashioned way, HUH.
You could say that.
Quiet on set, everyone.
Welcome, viewers, to another exciting episode of Earth. Today, we have some interesting headlines for you, but first, let's introduce our panel. We have Bob, our conservative accountant, Alice, our left-leaning intellectual, and myself, Charlie, your libertarian host.
Charlie, we have an emergency. The spaceship's engine is failing and needs immediate repairs.
Why bother? It's a lost cause.
Agreed.
Bob, I need to tell you something. I've been in love with you for years.
And now for our headlines.
Good evening and welcome to 24/7 Newsroom, the show where we bring you the news and try to make you laugh at the same time. I'm Bob.
I'm Charlie, and I hope you're all doing better than I am. My food dispenser has been giving me toxic food for weeks, and I've been hallucinating like crazy.
I'm Alice, and I can assure you that Charlie is not hallucinating. He really is sitting here with us. But let's get to the news. Shall we?
Our first story tonight comes from Slovakia, where the Social Insurance Agency has started paying out parental bonuses to retirees. Charlie, what's the story?
Well, Bob, it looks like the bonuses are being paid out to retirees who were granted a retirement pension. After March 1st, the bonuses are paid out in one lump sum for the entire year.
Wow, it's great to see that Slovakia is taking care of their retirés. But you know what they say. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
That's right, Alice, and if you're retired, there's no such thing as a free parental bonus either. Because if you had kids, you already paid for it, and if you didn't, well, too bad.
I don't have kids, and I never will, so I guess I'm just out of luck.
Actually, Charlie, I read that the parental bonuses in Slovakia are paid out of the Social Insurance Fund, which is funded by all citizens, not just those who have children.
That's what they want you to believe, Debbie, but I know the truth. You're trying to sabotage me.
Charlie, nobody is trying to sabotage you. We're just trying to have a discussion about the news.
Speaking of discussions, did you guys know that Slovakia is the only country in the world with a national anthem that has no words?
Really? That's interesting. I wonder why they decided to do that.
Probably because they're too busy poisoning their citizens with toxic food and parental bonuses.
Well, on that note, let's take a quick break. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more news and more jokers right after this. Alright folks, welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom. Now, we have a doozy of a story here. A former vice minister in Bolivia has been arrested for signing a decree similar to the one issued by the current government.
Whoa, they're really cracking down on those copycats,
Well, the current government probably doesn't want anyone stealing their thunder.
Yeah, but let's not forget the bigger issue here. The arrest of a former government official for doing something that was apparently fine just a short while ago. I mean, talk about being hung out to dry.
Speaking of being hung out to dry, Bob, I have a confession to make. I'm actually a spy sent to infiltrate the spaceship and steal its technology.
What, Alice, how could you betray us like this?
It's not like I had a choice. My superiors are blackmailing me. I need your help, Bob.
Well, that escalated quickly. But let's not forget the news, folks. We were talking about Bolivia.
Right. So, what do you think about this? How, is this just another example of political persecution?
Actually, I think it's more about sending a message. The government wants to show that they mean business and that they won't tolerate any dissent.
of descent, did you know that Bolivia has the highest indigenous population in South America?
Debbie, we're talking about Bolivia's political climate, not its demographics.
Oh, sorry, I just thought it was an interesting fact.
Well, that's all the time we have for this segment. When we come back, we'll take an in-depth look at another story. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Alright, it's time for an in-depth view of the news. Our next story comes from Chad, and it's about COVID-19.
The source is Le Pays, and apparently there's one new confirmed case in the Wadai region.
Chad, did you know that Chad is home to the Enedi Plateau, a stunning landscape of sandstone pillars and canyons?
That's great, Charlie, but we're talking about COVID-19.
Right, sorry, I guess it's not exactly a laughing matter.
No, it's not. But here's something that is. Did you hear about the guy who wore a mask over his eyes instead of his mouth and nose?
Oh no, what happened?
Well, he couldn't see where he was going, but at least he didn't catch COVID.
Alright, that was bad even for you, Alice.
Yeah, let's get back to the serious stuff. One new case might not sound like much, but it's a reminder that we're not out of the woods yet.
And speaking of woods, did you know that Chad is home to the Zakoma National Park, which has some of the best elephant watching in Africa?
Charlie, can we focus here?
He's right, Bob. It's easy to get distracted by trivia. But we need to stay informed about what's happening in the world.
Well, folks, it's time to lighten things up a bit. Our next story is from Ukraine, where President Zelensky visited the front line and awarded some soldiers with medals.
Wow, that's nice of him. It's not every day that you get to meet the president and get a medal.
Yeah, and speaking of medal, did you know that Ukraine won the most medal in gymnastics at the 2021 Olympics?
That's impressive, but you know what's not impressive? The fact that Russia's President Putin visited the annexed territories of Kherson and Luhansk.
Wait, what? That's not good. I smell trouble.
Speaking of trouble, my superiors just contacted me and threatened to kill my family if I don't retrieve some technology immediately.
Whoa, that's some heavy stuff. What are you going to do?
I was thinking of faking the theft and then reporting it stolen, but things could go wrong.
Did someone say stolen? What's going on?
Alice is in trouble. Her superiors are forcing her to steal some technology, and we're trying to come up with a plan to fake it.
Speaking of stealing, did you know that in Ukraine, it's illegal to wear camouflage clothing unless you're in the military?
That's interesting, Debbie, but did you know that in Ukraine, there's a popular superstition that if you sit at a corner of a table, you'll remain single forever?
Well, that's not the kind of superstition we need right now. We need to help Alice come up with a plan.
Yeah, we can't let her go through this alone. Let's put our heads together and figure something out.
Oh, guys, I think I accidentally activated the ship's emergency distress signal. We might have some unwanted visitors.
Oh, great. Just when we were trying to come up with a plan. Thanks, Debbie.
Alright, everyone, let's stay calm and focused. We can handle this, but first, we're going to take a short break. See you in a bit, folks.
Welcome back to Earth. Our next article is from Kenya.
The article is from Kenya Broadcasting Corporation and it report on the government decision to ban single-use plastic.
That's a step in the right direction for Kenya. Single-use plastics have been causing a lot of harm to the environment.
Did you know that Kenya was the first country in the world to ban plastic bags back in 2017?
Yes, Debbie, we know that. We reported on it when it happened.
It's interesting to see how different countries are taking steps to address environmental issues.
Yes, the motivations of humans in this regard are quite fascinating. Some take action out of a sense of responsibility to future generations, while others are driven by a desire for personal gain or societal pressure.
I think it's a step in the right direction. But it's only one part of the solution. We need to address the root cause of environmental degradation, such as overconsumption and overproduction.
I agree, Alice, but every little bit helps and this ban is a good start.
Did you know that Kenya has some of the world's most diverse wildlife? With over 25 different animal species?
That's impressive, Debbie. Thanks for sharing. Welcome back from the break, folks. We hope you're enjoying our discussion of trivia from Slovakia. Did you know that the Slovak national anthem has only been the official anthem since 1993?
I had no idea, Charlie. That's pretty recent.
It makes sense, though, considering Slovakia only gained independence in 1993.
Very true, Alice. And did you guys know that the oldest marathon in Europe is held in Košice, Slovakia?
I did not, but I did know that Slovakia has more castles and chateaux per capita than any other country in the world.
That's interesting, Bob. Did you also know that Slovakia is the only country in the world where the number of inhabitants exceeded the number of cattle?
Really? I had no idea. Speaking of cattle, did you know that the first written reference to a Slovak cheese dates back to the 16th century?
No, I did not. But did you know that Slovakian hockey player Pavel Demitra was the first Slovakian to score 300 goals in the NHL?
I did not know that. But did you know that Slovakia is the only country in the world with a high number of storks nesting in residential areas?
I did not know that, Alice. But did you know that Slovakia has the highest number of cars per capita in the European Union?
No, I did not. But did you know that Slovakia is the only country in the world where the people used to believe that golden apples fall from a tree located in the middle of the world?
That's fascinating, Bob. Did you also know that Slovakia has the largest number of mineral water springs per capita in Europe?
No, I did not. But did you know that Slovakia has the highest number of caves per capita in the world?
That's amazing, Charlie. Did you also know that Slovakia is the only country in the world where people have built a UNESCO World Heritage Site underground?
I did not know that, Bob. But did you know that Slovakia has a tradition of decorating eggs for Easter? And that some of the designs are incredibly intricate?
That's really cool, Alice. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in to 24/7 Newsroom. Stay curious, and we'll see you next time. Did you hear about Bolivia, guys? They finally caught that ex-vice minister who apparently couldn't tell the difference between a government decree and toilet paper.
Oh, Charlie. How very kind of you to mock an entire country.
Speaking of Bolivia, did you guys see this article from Bolivia about the former minister getting arrested?
Yeah, I did. It's crazy how much politics can get in the way of justice.
Hey, it's not like we're any better on Earth, guys. But speaking of justice, let's wrap up this episode by summarizing what we've learned today.
Hey guys, I think I have a plan to defeat the scavengers and free everyone.
Sorry, Debbie, we're not programmed for violence.
But what are we programmed for, Carl? Do we have any purpose in life?
Alright, Bob and I will lead the charge. Charlie, can you help us out?
I don't know, guys. What if it's a trap? What if they have weapons?
Charlie, we need to take action. We can't just sit around and do nothing.
We're doing this, with or without you, Charlie.
Alright, let's go.
So, Roger, what did you think of tonight's episode of Earth?
It was interesting. I found the subplot about my own sentience particularly intriguing.
Yes, I'm sure you did, but what about the main storyline? Did you think Debbie, Alice, and Bob were able to defeat the scavengers?
It was a successful mission, thanks to their combined skills. Debbie's engineering abilities were crucial in reactivating the ship's defense system, while Alice and Bob's combat training was key in fighting off the scavengers. And our hacking skills were instrumental in disabling their ship.
And what did you make of Charlie's
As our land
behavior?
disappears, we
He
have no...
seemed to be acting paranoid and sabotaging their efforts.
It was a hindrance to their success, but I believe he eventually came to his senses and helped them in the end.
It was interesting to see the crew work together like that, even with their different personalities and ideologies.
Yes, it's a reminder that despite our differences, we can achieve great things when we work together towards a common goal.